Hi everyone, welcome to an introductory video to my meeting notes template for the reMarkable Paper Pro. Some of you might recognise the meeting notes style template here because I do have a version for the reMarkable 2. This, however, I've done a dedicated video for because there are some unique aspects to this template and not just the addition of colour. By way of a very quick high-level overview, there is space for up to 100 meetings in each PDF, but again, it can be duplicated and you can have endless storage and notes for your meetings there. What you do is you have 5 tabs along the side. Each one takes you into a dedicated meeting log. Within each meeting log, you've got 20 meetings. So again, we have the color code aspect here. You might have green for manager catch-up, blue for your quarterly finance meetings or monthly finance meetings, yellow for your weekly team meetings, etc. You can customize it as you like. There is a bit of extra customization you can do by grabbing a black pen and scribbling out the meeting log title or writing over it, and then grabbing a white pen and writing your own unique title there. You can follow a very similar principle with the tabs and using a black pen just to customize them and write on them as you'd like. Again, this is just going to have the effect on that dedicated page. So what you might want to do is just customize the tabs on the main meeting log pages. And obviously when you're within the notes, maybe it doesn't matter so much, but you might want to customize them for the main meeting logs. When you go into your meeting log, you can write your date, the topic of the meeting. So at a quick glance, you know what is entailed. And then you go ahead and select the number and it'll straight away take you to the meeting overview. Now you might not require all of these sections for each meeting, but just in case you do, you have date, time, subject, you can list the attendees, you can have a short agenda, or a longer agenda, there's plenty of space there. You can list any actions discussed during the meeting and you can keep track of who the actions have been assigned to, a due date for the action to be done, and of course a check mark to ensure that they are done there and keep a log of what is still outstanding. Along the top here we have further hyperlinks where you can simply at the touch of your finger move across to your lined notes page. You can move across to your grid notes page if that is required, and you can move across to a blank sheet. You have this option in each and every one of your meeting overviews. Now, for some meetings, you might require 1 page. For some meetings, you might require 10 pages. So all you need to do is pick the style that you want. So this is just a typical meeting, so I only need line note pages. And then you go into your toolbar, go into this option here. It tells you where you currently are. You simply hold down and you can duplicate that page endlessly. And it doesn't affect the hyperlinks at all. So you can have as many pages as you want in lined, blank or grid within any of the 100 meeting templates that you've got there, or meeting entries, should I say. So I'm going to cancel that now, go back. Some of the feedback from my last meeting template is they liked the notebook aesthetic with the spiral bound on the left hand side here, which perfectly is covered up by the toolbar when you have it open. But actually on the notes pages, they wanted the option to have the space. So you'll notice now, when you go into any of these notes pages, that spiral bound notebook aesthetic disappears. You have a margin there, optional. If you do want the absolute full width of this page and you don't want a margin, you can do a little top tip here. Go on Fineliner, pick the largest thickness, go on to white. Let's see if I can get this right first time. You go ahead and touch and then drag it down, and what you'll see happens is you can make the margin essentially disappear. If I can actually get it there, it's hard because the camera's in front of my face, so I keep missing it. But there it goes, it's gone. And so once that red line's gone, you can go ahead and use the full footprint of this page for your notes. And once you've got it, you can actually just copy and paste that across to any of your notes pages. Or if you do it this way initially and then duplicate it, all your lined notes pages will not have the margin. And so you can start from here and you get all this space to write your notes with. Now you may notice something different already from those of you who are familiar with my meeting notes template. We have an additional tab here. So for those who have used tracing before, let me go into the tab. You can do something quite special on the reMarkable to enhance your notes, and that's adding in additional visuals, whether it be icons, shapes, charts, graphs, etc. Now you can just attempt to draw these freehand, but if you utilize tracing, you can create some absolutely gorgeous visuals that on perhaps Microsoft applications you could just drag and drop in. And I've done it here, so you can essentially do quite a similar principle by dragging visuals into your work to enhance that note taking. Now I'll show you how it works in a second, but just to give you a very quick example, I'll get my select tool. These are two that I use all the time, the red cross and the green check mark. I'm going to copy it over, and I can go into my meeting. Perhaps I'm listing some items and prioritizing which ones we actually want to tackle as a team and which ones we want to leave for another day. So I'm in my line to notes page here, and you simply just copy it in. And with the reMarkable Paper Pro, you have the option to use any of those colours, those lovely colours which come along with this e-ink screen. Not only can you copy and paste them in, you can rotate any of the images and you can resize them. So here I'm making a list, and against certain items, I'm saying this is a priority and maybe this isn't a priority. And you can access this tab from any page within the notebook. Now I'm just going to go over a brief tutorial about how you do it. If you're not familiar with my tracing templates, I have a full one of these for both reMarkable 1 and 2 and reMarkable Paper Pro, which has about, I believe it's 6 pages full of different images that you can trace. However, for the meeting book, I've prioritized ones that might be useful for meeting notes. So all you do is trace over the grey line that is provided. What I'm going to do now is do it myself. I will fast forward, so you don't have to sort of watch me do every little intricate part. But by way of some quick tips, you might think, don't have a very steady hand, so I'm not going to be very good at this. I absolutely don't, but you can, with these tips, you can make them look amazing like they do here. I mean, they look perfect, like they were just taken from Microsoft. Tip number 1 is always zoom in. So that means the visual gets much bigger, if it's going to let me do it. And so any minor mistakes, once you zoom out, you don't even notice them. Tip number 2 is make use of the straight line tool for any straight line. So just hold it down there and it'll create a perfectly straight line. Tip number 3 is if you need to touch anything up, you can use the white marker for if you're a bit of a perfectionist and you want it to look perfect, you can, any slight mistakes, you can remove that way. And my tip number 4 is to just take your time and reuse what you've already done. So for example, there's a circle here, and once you've traced the circle, then you can just reuse it. So just copy it over and paste it here and resize it. So once you've done one circle, you don't have to do any of it again. So just take your time with that circle and then you're sorted. And again, you can use any of the colors you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this like symbol, and I'll speed it up and then you'll see what it looks like at the end. I would also add actually that I recommend using the fine liner on the largest thickness. There you go. I know I've sped up the video, but that probably took me like 20 seconds. So that's just an indication of how easy it is. And we're going to zoom back out. And then we're going to paste it. And you can use it on any of your notes pages. An additional little added benefit of this is you don't have to just keep it within this PDF. You can copy across any of these traced images to any of your notebooks, including the standard reMarkable ones. We can even give it a thumbs down there. We can resize it. We can make it as large as we like. And there you have it. So this can really enhance your note taking. I like to draw little images or use visuals when I'm doing mine. And so hopefully it might help you. You don't have to use this section, but it's there if you want. Okay, well that is the overview of my meeting notes. I hope you found this helpful. As ever, if you have any questions or anything that I haven't quite covered off, do let me know. The link is in the description to the notebook, and I hope you enjoy it.